Do you hate Dino Dini soccer? One tiny bug can cause a world of pain. If I was a writer and I had written a book 20 years ago, and then that book spread on the internet, but it was a changed version, it was an edited version of the book that made the book seem like rubbish, I would probably be upset. But this kind of happened to me in the weirdest of ways, because when I did Dino Dini Soccer, I introduced a bug that I was unaware of, and that bug came back to bite me, and here's the story of that. And one of the ways in which it bit me was this. There's a MySpace page that still exists. You can imagine MySpace still exists, flipping it. But this guy from Derby, England, I'd love to know whoever he is, made this rather obscene kind of remix of the music from Dino Dini Soccer. It was full of bile and hatred. And the reason is because they complained that the game was unplayable because the players slid all the time and the referees always gave red cards. Well, here's the problem. It's broken when you play it on an emulator, but not broken, unless you're very, very unlucky, when you play it on a original hardware. And I'm actually going to demonstrate that. It's a real shame they didn't fix the emulator. This problem's. I actually fixed the version of the game, believe it or not, when I found this. So there is somewhere, I need to dig it out, or it's floating around the internet, a version that I fixed this bug so that you can play Dino Dini Soccer on an emulator and it works correctly. But anyway, look, let's just say bye-bye to this horrible Dino Dini Soccer, which I took quite personally. I do take these things personally. Especially when the person who's insulting me didn't even buy the game. Anyway, let's have a look. So we've got Dino Dini Soccer here, and you go and say, oh, let's try this. Let's see what this is about. Dino Dini, we've heard of him. Let's try this. So we go, let's play a friendly match. You go play a friendly match, and then we just go straight into it. And the referee is W. Davis, which you'll notice is odd because the referee is always W. Davis. When you do this, which is weird because you shouldn't have been that way. And then, so England versus Germany. Okay, so we'll start playing. It's the first half. All right. And let's go. Right. Off we go. So I'm actually not used to playing this game anymore. Ow! Because I've been working on Kickoff Revival, so it's like I can't play it. I keep expecting to play Kickoff Revival instead, which is more like the original Kickoff than the, oh look! A foul! Oh look! A red card. See, they're very aggressive. Very, very aggressive here. So let's try. So you think that the game is playing okay, but slide. It really isn't. Because you start to notice there's a problem after a while. So I try. Okay, never mind the replay. So I carry on trying to play this game. Let's see. Feels laggy because it has an inertia, which was done for good reasons, but I'm not used to it anymore. Anyway, so lots of slides and a red card. And let's try and another slide and another slide and did a good tackle there, which was lucky because the problem is that the referee is going to give a red card for every foul, and the players do a slide all the time. Look, there's another red card. You can start to see this is. I mean, would I make the game like this? No, this is not the way. This is not the way the game was meant to be. Foul, red card. I mean, it's like what? Okay, so let's Okay, oh, I saved that ball. That was actually doing a kick-off revival move. So that's not. That's interesting. Anyway, and ooh, I suppose with all them getting sent off, I've got to have a chance here to even the score. You see, they're also doing lots of headers. They really like doing headers now as well as the slides. I mean, maybe I. Oh, come on. Maybe. Maybe I can get them all sent off. Hang on. Oh. Come on. Slide. Ah, look. I can just grab hold of the red card. I mean, it's referee. Hang on, let me try something. Oh, that isn't what I meant to do. I don't know how many players have they got left. Is it 4? 4 players? I don't know. Come on, let's get. There we are. Oh, another one. And another red card. So they've only got 4 outfield players now. So 5 outfield players now. I'll just see if we can get a bit further here. This is a different kind of fun. Here we go. Yay! And another foul and another red card. And so you play this and you think, is this Dino Dini? He's insane. What did he do? Oh, it's a yellow card. Now, you might say, why is it a yellow card, not a red? Probably because I put code in there to sort of limit how many red cards you could get, because otherwise, I nearly scored with that. That would have been so good. So referee's probably not going to give any more red cards. Come on. Woo. Let's see. Yeah, he's just ignored it because he already had a yellow. So he stopped. He stopped giving a yellow card. He'll give everybody a yellow card. He stops giving reds. Otherwise, it's just ridiculous. So maybe. Oh, you're still beating me. It was like, whoa. Anyway, so it's terrible. But that isn't the only evidence. Let me offer some more evidence. Okay, of what's going on here. Maybe I can know how to exit. How do I exit this in this emulator? I don't know. I have to wait for the time to run out. Because I don't know how to exit. Oh, I know what to do. I'll just restart it. So, yeah, this is the thing. And of course, if you play the game on original hardware, that will not happen. Can you see why I'm in a world of hurt over this? Because that's the way people are going to play my game. They're going to go on the internet, they're going to download Dino Dini Soccer, they're going to play it on an emulator, it's going to play like rubbish, and it's really upsetting, it all because of a stupid little bug that I didn't know would affect me on emulators, because I wasn't thinking about emulators back then. Let's try the World Cup. So we go into the World Cup, and you could sort of do start a new competition. Sort of raise the current cup competition. So what we'll do is we're going to go straight into the finals here, and then it says you must first complete all qualifying matches. Do you wish this to be done automatically? So you say yes. So we click on here, and here we are. They're playing. Look, the results are 0-0 for everybody. All matches are 0-0. Really good for the no score draws, and everything is a draw. Surely someone could see that there is something wrong. Well, I'm going to show you what's wrong. I'm going to see if it's possible even to fix it. I don't know. Anyway, I'll have a go. I haven't tried to do this before. The problem is quite simple. Dino Dini Soccer came with a CMOS RAM on it, so that you would remember it could save your matches and so on, where you're at. And I thought I'd be clever and store the random number seed in there. So basically, computers don't really generate random numbers very well, so unless they have special hardware for it. So what happens is that you use a random number generator which just generates the next number from a current number, but in a way that's unpredictable, that you're just not, clear what the next number will be. And it's called a seed. You use a seed, it's the number you start from. And the random number generator that I use is such that if the seed is 0, then when you run the algorithm to generate the next number, you always get 0. So 0 always goes to 0. But any other number goes to anything but 0, and it cycles through all the possible numbers that exist in a very chaotic, it's always the same, right? But it's effectively random because it's unpredictable, And it's a very, very long, like 4 billion numbers. So the sequence repeats after 4 billion rolls, unless it's 0, in which case it sticks to 0. So, this means when you start the game up, then you have the issue of trying to make sure it doesn't always behave in the same way. And there are different ways, because what you do, if you always have the same number in there, then it's always going to be behaving the same. Or when you go play a match, we'll always have the same referee as the choice, because there's always got this number in there. So what I used to do was wait until you press the start button at the beginning, or any time you're in a menu, and it would sit there calling the random number generator, so that it's sort of whizzing through these to some random point depending on exactly when you press the button. But it was never entirely satisfactory, so I thought I would be a bit more clever and store the current number in the CMOS, so that when you pick up the game next time, that random number generator is continuing from where it left off. It sounds like a good idea. But there's a problem. If the number in there is 0, then the random number generator will always generate the number 0. So I put a check, because I knew this. But the check, I was writing in assembler, the instruction to get this value from the CMOS RAM is a slightly different kind of move instruction. It's called a move P. And so the normal move, when you do that, it sets a flag that says, hey, the number was 0. It's called the 0 flag. And so you can use that to check if a number is 0. But when you do move P, it doesn't set that on the 68,000. And so what the long and the short of it is that check never worked. Which means that if you are unlucky enough to buy a cartridge that had zeros in those bytes, then you would also see the same problem. The probability of that happening was very, very small, because these CMOS RAM, when uninitialized, would have random values in it. So you'd be very, very unlucky, and probably never happen to anybody. But play it on an emulator, well, the emulators emulate memory, and programmers wanting to keep things nice and tidy tend to zero the memory. I mean, the memory is going to be cleared until it's used. That's generally what happens. So this means when you run it in an emulator, it's actually running it with the state where the CMOS is all 0, in which case this bug appears, and that's the reason why if you play Dino Dini Soccer on an emulator, it's totally and utterly broken, because of one assembler instruction that I missed out 20 years ago. And as a result, anybody wanting to see my work on an emulator will see the badly edited version, shall we say. This is the kind of thing you just go, what can you do? I'm going to try a little test here to see if we can fix this, because in spite of the fact that it's known that this is an issue, the developers of gens here, they didn't appear to provide an option for. I don't see any option for the RAM, but you know what you do have is options, say directories. And there is the static RAM backup and B-RAM backup. So I don't know what the B-RAM backup is, but it's probably the static RAM backup. And so this is stored in some directory. I don't know if we can see it. So so SRM, static RAM, 8K. Yeah, this looks like the one. So what I'm going to try to do is see. I want to have a look at that. So maybe I can look at it in Visual Studio. And it's like a curse that follows me everywhere, you know. When I must have done something bad in a previous life, because over and over again these kinds of things happen to me, that I end up getting misrepresented in some way. Maybe it happens to everybody, but I don't take it very well, I have to admit. It's not fair. Don't judge my game on this basis. That's not my fault, blah blah blah. Yes, it's true, there was a bug, but nobody spotted it. But how would I know? How would I know that it would affect people in emulators? Anyway, so here's the static RAM, and somewhere in here there are the bytes, and I'm going to take a gamble. I think it's the first 5 bytes. But you know what? I can just do this. This will invalidate the VRAM, so when the thing starts up, it'll recognize that the VRAM is uninitialized, and then it will initialize it. Of course, it didn't initialize the random number seed because it didn't need initializing as long as it wasn't 0. So yeah, this is, maybe there's a faster way to do this. Maybe I can copy and paste. I don't know. Yeah, are we allowed to do that with this? Copy, paste, 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 paste. I think it's becoming longer and longer now. Okay, so we need 8K. It was an 8K ROM. So this is in hex. That's 256. 4 is 1K. So 8K is going to be up to 2000. So up to, I've added a load of stuff, up to 2000. So what I can do is just delete everything from here to the end. Let's try. It'd be an interesting experiment. So do that. So there we go. I've saved that. I've now scrambled the ROM, and you know, I'm going to now restart. We'll see if this works better now. You've got to laugh, haven't you? You know. Have I ever released my first album, proper album? The title of it is Almost There, because that's the story of my life, really, isn't it? So, what shall we try and do? Let's have a look. We'll do the same test. We'll go into the world. We'll do a new competition. We'll raise the current competition. That's a bad sign because it thought there was a competition. Finals. Do you want to do this automatically? That didn't work. Ah! Damn it. That's annoying. So, it's weird because maybe I didn't save it, or did I? Alright. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to close. Do you want to reload it? Yeah, it's reset it. Yeah, it's reset it, hasn't it? Alright, let's try this again. Let's just see what happens if we do that. So if I save that, and then maybe I need to reopen Jen's. See if this works. And of course I did fix it like 10 years ago, about 2002 I released a version in you could play goal online. So goal, Dino, Dini soccer. Continue cup. Yeah, doesn't say that. New competition. Yeah, this looks a bit more like it. Let's go to finals. Do you want to do this automatically? Oh, wait a minute. So it was the first few bytes. Look, we actually have results. Some of them are quite high. I noticed a 12-0, but yeah, whatever. So there you go. We do have a solution. What you have to do is edit the static RAM file, and I think it is actually the first few bytes. In fact, it's just enough to change even the first byte. You'll have to see. Can I exit from here while it's doing this? Probably not. I have to wait for it to finish. So we're doing Argentina. This was the World Cup. Brazil. Yeah. This is the 90. It's playing out the '94 World Cup. There is it. Everything is done. And you can now go to the final. And the final Group A: England, Mexico, Hungary, Paraguay. Group B: Germany, USA, Portugal, Norway. Look, you see, those all making sense. You know, you've got like the countries you'd expect to have there. Actually there. Maybe we'll try a friendly, and look, it's a different referee. That's good. And now you can enjoy Dino Dini soccer the way it was designed. Ow! So there you go. The story of Dino Dini soccer and one tiny bug and a very sad game developer. See you around. Where's the off button? Oh, there it is.